So what if you could actually change the whole direction of your life? Not over years, but in a single afternoon. I know, it sounds a little bit like clickbait, but the idea behind it is incredibly solid. The quality of your decisions, well, that dictates the quality of your life. So instead of just vaguely hoping for things to get better, we're going to look at a structured way to make big, powerful decisions that can literally alter your life's path. And it only takes about 4 hours. Let's get into it. You know, this whole idea of dedicated, distraction-free thinking isn't new. I mean, look at Bill Gates. He famously takes a full think week every single year. He goes off to a cabin just to read and to think. And he actually credits this one practice with some of Microsoft's biggest, most important breakthroughs. It's just a massive reminder of what can happen when you deliberately step away from all the noise of daily life to just think. Okay, so most of us can't just take a whole week off to go sit in a cabin. I get it. And that's where this idea, the Think Day, comes in. Think of it as the condensed 4-hour version for the rest of us. The absolute key here is to get out of your normal environment. So not your office, not your home. Why? Because a new location helps you break free from your old sticky thought patterns and lets you see your life from like a 30,000-foot view. So where do you even start? Well, the very first step is to get a really clear, objective picture of your life as it is right now. You can think of it like a CT scan for your life. It's a diagnostic tool to see what's really going on under the surface. I mean, it makes sense, right? You can't really figure out where you want to go if you don't even know where you are to begin with. And that is exactly what this exercise, the Wheel of Life, is designed to do. It forces you to hit pause and just honestly assess all the different parts of your life, not based on how you wish they were, but how they actually are today. And here's the deal. You take these 10 key areas of your life, everything from your health and your mission to your relationships and just, joy, and you rate your satisfaction in each one on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 is like, wow, I literally cannot imagine this being any better. And 1 is, oof, I can't imagine it being any worse. The thing is, we tend to get so hyper-focused on 1 or 2 areas, like our career, that other parts of our life just lag behind. This little rating game quickly shows you exactly where things are out of balance. And check this out. Here's a real-world example from Ali Abdaal's own scores. You can see it right away. His mission and romantic life, they're scoring high, like a 9 out of 10. But then you look at physical health, friends, and joy, and they're all down at a 6. This is exactly what the exercise does so well. It instantly puts a spotlight on the areas that need your attention. Okay, so once you know which parts of your life need some work, you've got to face the single biggest thing that stops all of us from making a change. And that, of course, is fear. This question, right here, this is probably the single most powerful journaling prompt you could ever ask yourself. Just, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Why is it so powerful? Because just for a second, it completely removes the biggest barrier we all have, that paralyzing fear of failure. It gives your brain permission to dream, to explore what you actually want, without that immediate, yeah, but what if, that usually kills our biggest ideas. You know that first answer that just pops into your head? That's usually your gut, your intuition talking. But here's the problem. Our brains are wired from like hundreds of thousands of years of evolution to avoid failure, because back then, failure could literally mean death. And that ancient instinct is still running the show, making us super resistant to change. The good news is, you can manage it. And this is how. This is basically the core of Tim Ferriss's fear-setting exercise. See, when a fear is just rattling around in your head, it's like this vague, shadowy monster. It feels massive, totally paralyzing. But the second you drag that monster out into the light and write it down on paper, defining the absolute worst-case scenario, how you could fix it, how likely it even is, it just transforms. It stops being a monster and becomes a specific, manageable problem that you can break down into steps. All right, so after you've tackled your fears, the next phase of your Think Day is all about getting even more clarity. This is where you use a few really targeted questions to dig deeper into what makes you tick. Now, you don't have to answer all of these. Just pick 1 or 2 that really jump out at you. I mean, if I repeat this week for the next 10 years, where does it lead? Whoa, that's a powerful reality check. And that last one, what backpack am I carrying that no longer serves me? That one is incredible. The backpack is just a metaphor for all the old identities or grudges or beliefs that you're hauling around. Things that might have been useful once, but now they're just dead weight holding you back. Okay, this brings us to the final and, honestly, the most crucial part. You've done the scan, you've faced your fears, you've gotten all this clarity. Now you have to turn all that thinking into real, tangible action. This is where the rubber meets the road. Yeah, this is the moment that makes the think day actually real. Because an insight without action, it's really just a daydream. So writing down your decisions isn't just some boring administrative task. It's the actual bridge between having a good idea and making a real change in your life. And to do that, you just follow this simple but really powerful 4-part formula. For every big decision you make, you write it out just like this. First, you state where you are. Before today, I was whatever. Then, the decision itself, crystal clear. But as of today, I have decided that. Then, the specific actions. Therefore, my action items are A, B, and C. And finally, you build an accountability. I will review this and... Which brings us to the very last step. I want you to take out your phone, like right now, and create a calendar event for exactly 1 week from today. Title it, Review Think Day Actions. It sounds so simple, but what you're doing is creating a non-negotiable meeting with your future self. It makes sure you don't just make a decision and then forget about it. It forces you to check in and actually stay on track. So here's the thing. Your life is moving forward on its current path, whether you're paying attention to it or not. A think day doesn't magically create change out of thin air. What it does is give you the clarity and the courage to consciously grab the steering wheel. So the real question isn't if your life is going somewhere. The question is, what turn are you going to decide to make?